Hello everyone, welcome to today's show. For Beijing, the surprise attack on Iran was like a cold warning that went straight to the bone. In just a few minutes, the top leader and his whole inner circle were all wiped out. No matter how thick the security was, it turned out to be useless against pinpoint strikes and precise hits. It was only good for making them feel safe in their minds. The funny part is, the details of this kill the leader operation are coming out, and one scene is really like a drama. A government used tons of cameras to watch its own people. In the end, it found out that the cameras could also watch the leaders themselves. The camera sold out the top leader. When Xi Jinping hears this, will his back feel cold? Will he order all the cameras across the country to be taken down so he can stop anyone from doing the same thing to him? When their dictator friends keep falling one by one, Beijing always does the same thing. We strongly condemn it and firmly oppose it. Then nothing happens. They just put on another show of talk big, but do nothing. People are joking that Xi Jinping is the most irresponsible mafia boss. What is this kind of alliance really worth? What makes Xi Jinping even more nervous is the strong and clear message he just got. Trump's strike on Tehran is only the warm-up for a big clash with Beijing. History shows again and again who wants big change the most, the people living under dictatorship. In the end, everyone has to choose, stand with the people who are being pushed down or help the ones who are doing the pushing. It is time to take down the CCP regime and give China back to the Chinese people. If you like this topic, please subscribe to my channel and turn on the little bell for all notifications so you don't miss the next shows. On March 2nd, Britain's Financial Times broke some shocking inside news. The precise airstrike on Iran was not a quick decision. Israel, with help from the US CIA, spent many years slowly sneaking in and setting everything up. The only target was the top leader's house on Pasteur Street in Tehran. Khamenei, the people around him, and the core leaders of the Revolutionary Guard were all taken out. The big surprise is, the key breakthrough came from the traffic camera network that got turned against them. Yes, those regular street traffic cameras. The report quotes several current and former Israeli intelligence officers. Israel's cyber warfare team and the Mossad spy agency had already hacked into almost all of Tehran's traffic monitoring systems. The pictures went straight back to servers in Israel. One important camera happened to catch where the personal guards of Khamenei parked their private cars. Over time, they learned the whole daily life map of Iran's top security circle. Home addresses, work schedules, driving routes, and who they picked up. One Israeli officer even said they know Tehran as well as they know Jerusalem. Any little change would stand out right away. So how did they know the exact time for the important meeting? That part did not come from Israel's Mossad. It came from the US CIA. The CIA had followed Khamenei and the top leaders for many years, so they knew their habits. They gave the Israeli Air Force a super clear time window right before the attack. On the day of the strike, Israel first jammed more than 10 cell phone towers near Pasteur Street. Phones could not call out. They just showed busy signals, so no one could send a warning. Then Israeli fighter jets guided missiles right to the target. In less than 1 minute, the building was destroyed. After that, Iran's government admitted the people were martyred. The most ironic part of the whole thing? For years, Iran used tons of surveillance cameras to control its people. Cameras were everywhere on the streets. Those same cameras, which were tools to watch the people, ended up becoming the positioning system and main source of target information for foreign spy agencies. They helped foreign spies lock onto the targets and hand over the big gift. This is probably the cold joke the report wanted to show. A government puts up countless cameras to watch the people. But in the end, the top leader gets sold out by those very same cameras. The more cameras you have, the more clearly people can see you too, right? After hearing this explanation of the kill the leader operation, will Xi Jinping start to feel scared and suspicious? Will he ask himself, are the cameras protecting me or are they marking me? When that cold feeling hits him, will he order all the surveillance cameras in the whole country to be taken down? After all, China's Skynet project has hundreds of millions of cameras. The risk that they could bite back is not impossible. Commentator Wang Duran summed it up. Surveillance cameras were meant to be chains, but the data became a knife. The cameras watch the people and quietly record the end of the rulers. On one side, he worries that the cameras might one day catch him. On the other side, when his allies get in trouble, his standard move is to turn on the microphone, make a serious face, and say 8 big words: strongly condemn, firmly oppose. When one dictator ally after another falls, whether it is former Venezuelan President Maduro getting arrested or Iran's top leader Khamenei getting bombed, Beijing always stays at the luxury version of verbal support and stays completely quiet when it comes to real action. People can't help thinking, can this big brother really be trusted? Writer Wang Hao joked on Facebook that Xi Jinping is the most irresponsible mafia boss. Wang Hao wrote on Facebook, "At the start of 2026, global politics is going through a cold and cruel reshuffle reshuffle. From Venezuela to Iran, the dictator alliance that Xi Jinping worked so hard to build is collapsing one after another under the absolute power of the US military. This is not just a military loss, it is also the complete takeover of Beijing's bargaining chips in diplomacy. The facts prove that Xi Jinping is a mafia boss who only writes empty checks, hides when things get serious, and has the least courage to take responsibility. In the past few years, Beijing treated people like Maduro and Khamenei as chess pieces to fight the democratic countries and as bargaining chips. They even called them all-weather strategic partners and let them take the bullets for Beijing's interests. But when these chess pieces got physically removed, Beijing's so-called strategic partnerships suddenly stopped working. Xi Jinping's new security plan looks weak when it comes to protecting allies. Trump used missiles to tell Xi Jinping there is no deal on core interests, only reality. The dictators who trusted Xi Jinping and called him brother finally learned they were just pawns that the mafia boss pushed to the front line and then abandoned. When their energy lifelines were cut and their air defenses were torn apart, Xi Jinping's silence and weakness showed that this dark supply chain is completely broken. What kind of boss can't even protect his own little brothers? What makes Xi Jinping even more nervous is the strong and clear message he received. Trump's strike on Tehran is only the warm-up for a big clash with Beijing. Li Buan, a China expert at the pro-Republican Hudson Institute think tank in Washington, said, "The so-called Iran problem was never just about Iran. Trump's strike on Iran shows he is the first U.S. president to understand this truth, that the road to the Pacific must go through Tehran." Li Buan thinks Trump's epic anger action is part of a much bigger plan to stop China's global power. Washington is pushing for regime change in Tehran, so Beijing loses an important ally in the Middle East. In the middle term, the U.S. will also be able to move all its military resources to focus on the Indo-Pacific area. Germany's Frankfurter Allgemeine Zeitung wrote in a comment that the U.S. military action against Iran sent a clear signal. Being close friends with the CCP does not give you any safety. The whole world has noticed that special ties with the CCP did not give Venezuela or Iran any special protection. No one knows yet what kind of government Iran will have after this war. If regime change leads to a pro-Western government, then when sanctions are lifted, Iran might become rich and help bring stability to the area. That would be the best and most hopeful ending to this war. Chinese-American politician and U.S. Naval Academy professor Yu Mao-chun posted on X, "The words regime change have been turned into something bad, like reckless adventure or arrogant imperialism. But when the U.S. faces dictatorships that threaten its own country's roots, pushing regime change is not just a wild idea. It is a smart plan, a moral duty, and a way to protect itself." People who are against regime change often scare others by talking about endless wars in the mud. They make it sound like any strong action will turn into a mess. That mixes things up. The biggest wins in US history, defeating and changing Nazi Germany, Japanese militarism, and Soviet communism, were all regime change actions. The US helped rebuild Japan as a democracy, pushed democracy in the Philippines, Taiwan, and South Korea, and supported anti-communist forces in Asia and Europe. The US took part with military, money, and moral strength, and it helped shape the democratic world we have today. These regime change actions were not invasions or endless wars. They were decisive fights that changed the times and brought decades of peace and wealth. Yu Mao-chun also said, "Who wants regime change the most? The people living under dictatorship. Today's most dictatorial rulers get nervous the moment they hear their regime is shaky. What Xi Jinping fears most is that the US will support a color revolution or peaceful change, so the people demand freedom, human rights, and democracy. Countless brave citizens have already given their lives fighting tyranny. From the Tiananmen events to the white paper protests, the Chinese people have already shown with their actions that they want a free future. Supporting regime change is not forcing values on anyone. It is answering the call for freedom that already lives in people's hearts. The US is only making that wish louder and helping it. China will have regime change one day. It will not come from outside orders. It will come from the Chinese people's own call for justice. We either stand with the people who are being pushed down, or we help the ones doing the pushing." Khamenei's death also made some dissidents very happy. Stanford University scholar Wu Guoguang wrote on X, "I am so happy, I cried hot tears." In the 1980s, Wu Guoguang was a reporter for People's Daily and was close to the reformist leader Zhao Ziyang, who was prime minister at the time. Soon after, the party kicked him out. Now living in the US, Wu Guoguang wrote about Khamenei's death. "I hope my countrymen can celebrate a day like this soon." Other people wrote, "Seeing the party state lose another little partner is of course something to celebrate." When CCTV announced Khamenei's death, the comments from the public flipped completely. Many people were cheering and celebrating, congratulating the Iranian people on getting freedom. "Congratulations! Happy day for the whole world. Today is a good day. Everything you wish for can come true." Sure enough, killing the leader is the most civilized action. taking the general's head from among 10,000 troops. Good, good, good. War should be fought this way. The Americans are still the experts at this. US and Israel intelligence and skills are too strong. When will it be Beijing's turn? Too bad it wasn't you. It should be your turn soon. The people want big change. It is time to take down the CCP regime and give China back to the Chinese people. Please leave your thoughts in the comment section. See you next time.